Okay, welcome for another fun collaboration with the Christy and Sunny Show. You guys might like more of this. It's gonna be on fire every time. And maybe in January we will be coming in less hot, but I don't really know because she's got little kids and I just am, managing my husband. If you know, you know. Laura knows, Sunny knows. He's a lot. Okay, so I think we shared with you last time Sunny led the call for us, and she and I are both in the six-figure systems training with Rebecca Folks and Melissa Eichenhorst, and we are loving it. And so Sunny went over a lot of the marketing stuff last time, and so we decided that um, today we would go over the sales module, but it's a ton, so it probably will be two parts. I would be shocked if, we could stay on here all night, but y'all probably got places to be. Even if it's in bed or watching Netflix or wrapping presents, whatever. So we're gonna start this sales training. Does anybody have questions or anything to share before we get started? Okay, so since more of you on this call than less of you know my story, I'm going to just share a tiny bit of my story so that you know who I am, especially if we start collaborating more and doing fun stuff that we've been talking about. Then you can know who I am. So I'm Christy Barkley, and I'm an Emerald Ambassador. I originally started Plexus 9 years ago, and I'm going to give you the super short version. If you want the longer version, we can talk later. But in 2014, I was diagnosed with early onset dementia, and I was told that by 2016, I would no longer recognize my children. By 2018, I would be assisted living with Alzheimer's, and dead by 2020. So a really odd thing happened. A friend of mine posted her weight loss picture in 2014 or 2015, and I ordered because I don't know, you do really weird things when you have a brain injury. I was nonverbal at the time, didn't leave my house, couldn't drive, like had lost almost all long-term memory. They said it would never come back. But the God or whatever said, you should order this, you should lose weight, because I couldn't even get my heart rate over 120. So I didn't work out. I was just gaining weight. Couldn't walk in my neighborhood because I would get lost. So I started the Triplex. And at the time I was on 13 different prescriptions, and I took about 20 Advil a day. And the migraine specialist and the neurologist agreed that would be okay because I was going to die of my brain injury before liver failure. So I was taking, 30 to 40 pills a day when I started Triplex. And within 3 weeks, my husband was like, what are you doing? What is this stuff? And I'm like, I don't really know. And he just was like, you seem more like involved. And at that time, I was so uninvolved that what that meant is I could do a load of laundry during the day and then also sit at the dinner table with my family at night instead of like, hey, if I do laundry today, I'm in bed all night. Within about 6 weeks, I was not taking Advil at all anymore. All of my head pain had gone away. And about 6 months into my journey, Mega X came out. And about 3 months after taking Mega X, I started to have memory recall that the doctors did not ever think at that time that that long-term memory would come back. So here we are. It's 2024. I'm going to talk out the wazoo. I am no longer nonverbal. Most people do not, clearly, most people do not, I'm also not dead. And I know all of my children's names. That is the fun, hyped up version. There's a sad version. There's lots that go along with it, but that is who I am. So if you ever know anybody that suffers from concussions, brain injury, any of that type of thing, I just always want everybody to know that I am a resource. I am there to share my story. I am there to say, I don't have to know you. You can send somebody on your team. I can get a message that says, hey, my friend Paige said you might know something about concussions and Plexus. Can you help me? Yes. Like I am an open book always for anybody. So that's who I am. I have 4 kids, three are adults, which is bananas now that the third one just turned 18. One is God gave me as a special gift to teach me all the things I didn't know. He is my 13-year-old autistic son, who would prefer to never leave his room, and I homeschool him. So we have all of the fun, all of the time. Okay, so let's talk about sales. Now, I want to start with clarifying the difference between sales and recruiting because they're different. So sales is really about gaining new customers and promoting your product. It is just getting people to buy your stuff. And recruiting really is enrolling business builders and growing your team. And lots of times sales has to happen for recruiting, but what we're going to be talking about today is selling your stuff. We'll do a different call later on recruiting team members and what that looks like. Right now, we're just going to sell some stuff. And so what they had us start with, which I thought was really good because I've never done this, but they said, decide right now what you're going to be promoting 85% of the time. And part of what they push in this program, I'd say push in the most kind words, is making decisions fast. Don't overthink it. Don't write this question down and then think, I'll think about this later. You probably already know. What do you sell the most of? But if you are like I was before I started this training, I was really throwing it all up against the wall. One day I was posting Vital Biome, one day I'm posting Triplex, one day I'm posting Reset, one day I'm posting Restore. Oh, wait, let me sell some Joyome, right? Like, and it might be because like Laura made a cool post and I'm like, that's a really cool post about Mega X. I'm gonna share that, right? Does anybody else guilty of that? Just like, oh, that was a good post. There's no strategy to it, right? You're just like, that was a really good post about that product. I have never really decided, hey, this is what I'm going to sell. And so I'm not going to tell you what to sell. You may really love talking about skincare, and Joyome and collagen might be what you feel like is best for whoever you're going to sell to. We're going to get to the who, but based on who you are and what are you the most comfortable with, right? Like I can sell the daylights out of Mega X because it returned my memory. If you don't even take Mega X, you probably are not going to sell the daylights out of Mega X because you're not passionate about it, right? You can't sell something you're not passionate about. You could, I don't know, but it's going to be much harder. Sunny, do you have anything that you want to add about like choosing your product and, and also I want to say narrowing your focus, it's not going to, you think, oh, well, what if I need to tell everybody all the things, but really narrowing your focus allows you to market more consistently and intentionally.
What they said was that when you narrow it, it leads to more actual conversions. You're not just like talking to people, you're actually converting people because you're getting really clear. You're able to create really clear content that moves people to actually buying. That's not to say that what you choose right now is the only thing you ever get to talk about. It's just that we're focusing most of our time on those products so we can get really clear about it. Does that make sense? Like, don't get stressed out that like, I'm going to pick these products and you can change your mind. That's okay. You can totally change your mind, but it's about having focused attention on a few products that you really love. I think you nailed it, Christy.
Yeah. So once you decide what your thing is, and it can be, so for me, I chose Triplex and Reset as a combo because I've had great success with those two. So anyway, that's me. You choose you, whatever combo, whatever system you want it to do to be, and then build your belief around it. So once you choose it, become obsessed with learning about it. So that looks like going on your Plexus Go app, where there's tons of info sheets. There's graphics. There's like the sheets on what to say. There's, when's the last time you actually really pulled up one of those info sheets where it tells all the things? And it even tells like why they chose each ingredient. That could be overwhelming if you're trying to learn 35 products. It is not overwhelming if you're trying to get super pumped about 4, right? See the difference? So looking at product education, utilizing the tools that the company already has made. If you were here 10 years ago, we were making up our stuff, but now we don't make it up anymore. Like it's all there and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And then dig into testimonies. You guys probably, Sunny, your team probably has them. We have them way back in the day when we did a lot of ad tag message. And we had our testimonial pages where we put everything that we didn't want the FTC to see. Like we were curing Crohn's and stuff. We're not allowed to say that anymore, but most of us still have really great testimonials. And you can go into those testimonial pages that your team probably has and type in Triplex. And you're going to come up with gazillion stories of life-changing things. And when you read those, you're going to get really excited, right? Because you're going to feel hope again. I think for many of us who have been around a while, we haven't done that in a long time. We haven't dug into, when we're brand new, every time we saw where it helped something new, how excited were you? Like the first time I read about it helping like somebody with RA, you're like, oh, that's amazing. I have to tell so and so and so and so. And then we get kind of just stagnant. Like we know it helps so many things, but we aren't as excited about it. So the hope here is that get excited again, pour into it, get knowledgeable. When you're super knowledgeable about something, you aren't scared to talk about it. When you are scared to talk about it, when you have no idea what you're going to say. Right? But when you're kind of prepped and you have, objections handy, that's a different training that we can do, but you just kind of know and you're prepared with whatever they're going to say because you know what it helps with. And you're so excited, you can't wait to tell them. So next thing for sales that becomes really, really important, and I did this a long time ago. Who remembers like Bob Heilig telling us to have an avatar? Like create your avatar of who you're going to sell to and pitch to that person. I think that was a solid like 2019. I did that. So I've been through some things. I don't know if you have changed much in 5 years, but I have. You guys probably have. So start over. Something else they say, and I don't even know which call they said it on, but they say it a lot on their podcast, Melissa and Rebecca, and that the most dangerous phrase is, I already know that. Because you stop looking into it and you don't do it again and you don't do it with fresh eyes. So what I would challenge you to do is with fresh eyes, with who you are now, with what you know now, with what you've experienced, how many ever years you've been with Plexus, decide who your ideal customer is. So for example, for me, I chose women 35 to 55, like kind of that perimenopause, menopause, because I'm 51. So that to me is the window I am most knowledgeable about. Can I talk to somebody with toddlers? For sure. I had 4 of them at one point, but it's not as fresh in my mind. Like when Sunny was like, I'm potty training, and I was like sitting at the sauna, in my sauna at the time. And I'm like, just sitting in my sauna, listening to Elvis Christmas music. And she's like, potty, like, right? Like, have I done that? Yes. Am I doing that right now? Oh, thank goodness. No, no. Um, Shout out to anybody that potty trains because it's a whole different level of life. Um, but the who. So decide who and really make it a Laura, your cat cracks me up. Make it about who you can talk to more comfortably. So for example, um, even though I have all the tools, I am still look at people on Facebook who are like selling fitness plans or whatever, as if I don't actually know what to do. And then I saw this lady and she's like this whole program and I'm going to show you that. And then I clicked on her picture and I'm like, girl, you're like 24. Come back to me when you were 50 and you are going through menopause and things go where they shouldn't go. And like, I am not taking fitness advice from someone who hasn't had kids yanked out of different spots and then want to eat ice cream every single night. Like, right? Like, you can't tell me anything. I need to go learn from like there are 50-year-olds that look hot. Like, okay, you teach me how to have a six pack. The 24-year-old, girl, you look good. Let me share you with my daughter. Like, she might want tips from you. Right? So, who is your who? Don't try to pitch like if Sunny's potty training, I am not going to take her advice about my 26-year-old who just bought a house. She don't know. She might tell me what she was like at 26 and bought a house, but she's not going to tell me what it's like to parent a kid going through adult like letting kids make their own decision. That's really uncomfortable for me. I want them to just do what I tell them to do and sleep right? Like, so we're in different phases. So where are you? And that's probably going to be your who.
Can I
Okay,
share,
so
can I share
so
something about mine?
yes.
So when I redid this, I really tried to erase what I have sort of been taught, if that makes sense. Like, oh, we're supposed to reach out to these specific kind of people because that's who Plexus is or whatever. Like, I don't, I want you to erase that in your brain. I really liked to focus when I was doing this on things that kind of bother me, like things that really fire me up. So I'm looking for like young women who are over the fat shaming, right? Like I'm like really specific in my brain. Like they're over the fat shaming. They want to feel great, maybe lose weight without doing the yo-yo diet thing. Like mine says, they're over the fad products, they're over being oversold to. Like I'm getting so specific about who and how I'm talking to these people. So like me just throwing up a before and after is probably not going to reach that person. It might, that's, I'm not saying that's your people, but it might not work for the people that I'm talking to because I am kind of that person. I'm kind of talking to me, right? Like the things that bother me when I see network marketing type stuff, like I want to talk to them in a different way. So I got really specific in that way. I don't know if that helps you guys. Instead of just being like, I'm talking to women, I'm talking to, moms, like really get into their head, like make it psychology, okay? Like think about what their actual like deep problem is in their life and what they want more out of it. So that helped me in when I'm writing posts out, I'm talking to their problems specifically. And I wanted to add one thing. When you were talking about the belief building activities, using ChatGPT is so helpful. I don't know if you were going to add that in later, but I went and added or wrote in to ChatGPT. I can't words right now. Benefits of improved gut health, liver detox, and clean energy. Because those are the things that I want to focus on, that health and wellness side of Plexus. And it just gave me 20 of beautiful things that just sparked like, oh my gosh, we have this. And another thing, another great thing to use ChatGPT for is when you go to those specific product info sheets, look at the specific ingredient and then go to ChatGPT and say, what are the benefits of L-theanine? Boom. And it's going to shoot them out to you. And then you can talk about that specific ingredient that we have. And then like you add in the combination of our products are, you guys already know this, are loaded with so many different products. You would have to take a million different individual things in order to get all the stuff that we have in our individual products. Okay, sorry, I'm talking too much. But you guys already know that. Christy, keep going.
No, okay, so I'm going to just segue right into what Sunny said. And my next thing, which is identify their problem. And I was going to say, put this in ChatGPT. So for example, so my thing was women 35 to 51, but I put into ChatGPT, what are 20 common concerns for women 35 to 51? And then discovering the deeper problem, you can put in there. And again, adjust it for your, if it's women this age to this age, because like what Sunny said, you could put in, tell me the benefits of this ingredient, especially targeted for women 30 to 45. And it will, because we're all going, and it will do that. It's really magical. And now you have a really pretty post. You can tell it to make it pretty. You can even ask it to add emojis. You can do whatever you want to it. It's magical. So let me tell you the 6 steps of the selling process. And that way you can write them down. That way, as Sunny and I kind of chime in together, you'll know where they go. So first, identify the who. Second, identify their problem. Number 3, discover the deeper problem. Number 4, define the internal impact. Number 5, state the change you want for them. And number 6, define the impact of the can't change if they can't do it. You guys need me to repeat any of those? I went kind of fast. Carolyn, yes? Okay, identify who, identify their problem, discover the deeper problem, define the internal impact. And I'll go into some examples so that this kind of makes sense, because it may not make sense right at first, all the difference in these things, but basically it's kind of that like 7 layers deep of why? Okay, why? Okay, why? So number 5, state the change you want for them. And number 7, define the impact if they don't change. So identifying the problem, you can throw this into ChatGPT. You're going to come up with a few yourself, right? Like in my mind, I think of women my age and it's weight gain and metabolism is down and stress is up and time is down and energy is down. And like, I'm not an idiot. I have lived this life, right? But ChatGPT makes it really pretty and easy. And if you start this, I did it all the way through those 5 steps after identify who. I have a whole flow in ChatGPT, and I honestly just saved it and printed it so I can go back to help with, okay, I want to post about this today. So you can ask for like number 2, you can ask ChatGPT, what are 20 common concerns for women ages blank? And number 3, you could say, if women ages blank, whatever you're choosing, don't address these health concerns, what deeper issues can come out? Because it can be things like yes, weight gain. Okay, so I'm going through menopause, I've gained weight, it's in all the random places. Okay, well, that sucks. Now, one of the problems is I have to buy new pants. Okay, well, that's a problem. Now I'm buying pants because I can't control my ice cream intake or my hormones. Okay, well, what really is the issue there? Then it gets deeper. The internal issue becomes, I'm not really liking what I look like when I go past the mirror. And so on the deeper level, I have moved to this new town, where I knew 6 months ago I should have joined the chamber so I could have started networking, so I could have grown my business, except for my clothes don't fit. So I feel like, I'm not a really great example of health and wellness, and I don't really have great chamber networking clothes that fit. So now I don't want to go chamber network, and now I'm sitting at home wishing my son came out of his room and talked. Like, it gets deeper. Then it's like depressing, right? So I could just say weight gain, but what this is asking you to do, and what you can keep asking ChatGPT, okay, what if you don't fix that? There are lots of women who maybe their mental health has suffered some now because they don't like the way they look in the mirror. And some people it doesn't bother at all, right? But for some, that's just an example of how you can kind of go down the rabbit hole. And while I could address weight gain by sharing a before and after picture, if in my posts I am much more intentional about really addressing, hey, are you not doing as many social activities because you don't really feel great about, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm really digging into the problem and addressing a problem that I know I'm not the only 50 something that has that problem. So number 4, what I asked ChatGPT is, how can focusing on gut health positively impact these deeper concerns? And so what happened is, because when I started with my ChatGPT prompt, I asked for 20 common concerns. And then I asked for, what if they don't address these? It gave me 20 things that could happen if people don't address these first 20. If you keep it in the same chat, it keeps growing for you. So then, how can focusing on gut health positively impact these deeper concerns? It gave me 20 that go with these 20. And so then you can even ask ChatGPT, what happens if nothing changes in these 20 areas? And then you know what you have now? 20 posts that are so much deeper and more meaningful than Sunny lost 6 pounds on reset. Do you know what I'm saying? So, Sunny, what do you want to add to that? Or does people have questions about ChatGPT, or it is really a game changer? You can ask it anything. It's very smart.
I don't think I have anything to add. Other than just like, you guys get the point that we're going deeper and we're trying to make more meaningful posts by determining what our persona is, like what we're showing up and what we're offering. Like, actually asking yourself these questions really helps narrow it down. Yeah, I think that's it. And then, well, what questions do you guys have? Does that make sense? Is this like, yeah? Okay.
And, you know, if you have any doubt, I'm just going to read one of the, I'm going to start like on number 1 and go through. I'm only not going to read all 20. I'm going to read how it answered, how it gave me number 1 all the way through, so that you have an idea of how ChatGPT will work through this process. So I asked for 20 common concerns for women in the 35 to 55 age group. So number 1, health and wellness, managing overall health, including exercise, weight, and diet, especially as metabolism changes with age. So then my next question was, if women aged 35 to 55 don't address this core concerns, what deeper issues can come up? Number 1, chronic health conditions. Neglecting health and wellness can lead to conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity, which are harder to reverse later on in life. Okay, now I wanted it to tell me how gut health could help these things, because that's right. Like, I'm sharing Triplex and Reset. Okay, so how can gut health help? Number 1, reduces chronic health conditions. A healthy gut helps regulate blood sugar levels, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduce inflammation, all of which are critical for preventing diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. The right balance of gut bacteria can also lower cholesterol and support a healthy metabolism. And that's just related to number one. So it did this for, this is a fun one. I'm glancing at this. I just want you to know, if you're not using this tool, to use it. Number four, one of the things in that women going through menopause suffer from is work-life balance, managing work, family, and personal interests, and the pressure of having it all. Then strain relationships with your health. Not prioritizing relationships, whether with partners, friends, or children, can lead to isolation, resentment, or even marital breakdowns, leaving them feeling unsupported and alone. Now, how does gut health play into relationships? Better gut health can increase energy, mood stability, and overall resilience. This can reduce irritability, fatigue, and stress, leading to healthier, more enjoyable relationships with family and friends. So see, now I'm not even talking about Plexus, but this is something that's a real issue for lots of people. And we're not really addressing how, you know. So then what you can do in ChatGPT is say, help me make a post about this. You can copy it, you can do whatever. But that really is, it's deciding who you're going to sell to. And if you remember what Sunny taught us last time, you're really only selling in 20% of your posts. But we also talked about 30% is building your brand and 50% growing your audience. I can very much grow my audience about, if I'm willing to get vulnerable, sharing my issues that ChatGPT helps me uncover that I have, right? So I could be talking about something, stress, whatever, and then boom, I'm growing my audience because other women are relating to me going through this during their early 50s. And then voila, 4 days later, I might have a post about something that is helping me, and people have started to grow, or my followers are growing because you connect to people. I mean, I also follow Dr. Pimple Popper, and I like to watch people get arrested on TikTok. That they're not gonna buy Plexus from me probably, but I also do very much relate and follow people who I'm like, oh, that's good. That's good. I want to be more like her. Like, there's lots of autism moms that I follow because my son was only diagnosed less than a year ago, and I have so much to learn. And there are these people that are just putting out so much goodness, and I'm like, oh, I'm not alone. Oh, that's so good. Oh, so if you can know who you're selling to, you can be that to others. And if you're following the marketing strategy, you can work it all together. And if you don't even know, because so often we're on the hamster wheel, right? You're running your own business. I don't know how many of you have kids, big kids, little kids, grandkids, how many of you have other jobs. I don't know what it looks like, but when we do these things all day, we don't even notice. So sometimes like that, I was just going through here, and on that ChatGPT thing, I was like, oh, that number 4, oh, that's good. That's good. I don't slow down often enough to realize I could share about that. Right? And so what's normal to you and what has become normal to you, you don't think about often. But when you ask ChatGPT for help, you might look at something and go, I could do probably a live video about that and be amazing. Okay, what are your thoughts, questions, concerns? We're bananas. You still don't want to sell anything. You don't know what to sell. What do you got? Are you so overwhelmed with the holidays you can't You don't even know? Okay. So
Or y'all are just so good that we don't have any questions.
spoken like a true diamond. Thanks, Laura. Okay, it's 9:40 and it's the holidays. So I will stop, Sunny, unless you have anything else. I was gonna go into the artist storytelling, but that can be a whole nother
I
call.
feel
Do
like
you
that
think?
does need to be its own thing. I will say on my YouTube, I did make a very short, condensed conversations that convert to sales. We will need to go into that more in depth, but if you guys want to go watch that, it's like just a couple minutes. It's really fast, but it's going to give you kind of ideas on how to get those conversations going and the types of conversations you need to be having with those people that you've discovered. Because, hey, do you want to try Plexus? We know doesn't work. Like, hey, girl, just checking back, we know doesn't really work, right? So, like, finding ways to actually connect with people genuinely, those are helpful. So if you want to check that out in the meantime, but I agree with Christy, it's late and we went over as much as we could on that first part. And I do think the creating your story, I mean, yeah, I think that could be its
It'll
own
be
thing.
another call because it's really good.
Yeah, it is really good. But in the meantime, if you guys want to be thinking about it, um, what do you say when someone asks you, what do you do? Do you have a good answer? You want to have it internalized in your gut. Pun intended, right? Now, like knowing, like being passionate about what you do, what you sell, what you're here to do. Like we talk about this a lot on my team, like what your purpose is, your values, like that should just like come from inside of you. Like this whole section is about figuring out how to say that to people quickly in a way that resonates, that doesn't like overwhelm them. Okay. And that can take time. And so in your head, you just be practicing like your quick elevator speech. So we have a 30-minute conversation, right? Or we have like a 30-second, you need to just quickly tell your story in a way that resonates with people. So be thinking through, can I do that? I don't know. Maybe I should practice in the mirror because I literally have practiced in the mirror because it's not weird until you make it weird. And if you don't know what you're saying when you go into a conversation with someone, it gets really weird really quickly. Like people can pick up on the awkwardness, right? So practicing that is really important. So I'm sure we'll have a whole call on that later.
Yeah. And if you don't want to practice in the mirror, the last year I lived, went to lots of chamber meetings and networking meetings and all of that. And so I knew I was going to have to say that. So I voice record myself
Mm-hmm.
and just over and over, because you hiccup. You don't think you're going to hiccup, but also this practice of figuring out who you're selling to
Mm-hmm.
will help you. Because
Mm-hmm.
like it's super easy example, I help busy moms reclaim their energy and feel like themselves again by addressing gut health. Like that wouldn't be mine per se, because, you know, Sunny's got little kids. She's a busy mom. I want to be busy with my kids, but they're like, hey, let me go adult and do my own thing. And I'm like, can I go play? Right. So, but when you start to figure out who you're selling to and what you're selling and what benefits that can bring to somebody, that becomes what you do. Right. So we'll talk about storytelling. Sunny, if you will send me the link to your YouTube thing, then I will put it in the notes of this recording. Carolyn, did you have something? No. Okay.
Yeah, I would like the link as well.
Oh, yeah. So I will get this uploaded pretty quickly and send it to you, Sunny, and I will put your YouTube in the notes for if anybody's watching this, they'll know that's there. But then also, if you send it to me, then I can share it with my team and your team and all the things. All right. Laura, did you have anything?
Oh, no, no, no. I was just going to say thank you to you both.
Thank you guys all for coming on. Like I said at the beginning, well, Sunny corrected me. Apparently, it's not December 19th. It's only the 17th. So y'all have plenty of time
Same
Get
thing to
ready
me,
for-
same thing.
Get ready for the
It's all the
holidays.
same.
Whatever day it is, you've got time. It's
Next
gonna
Wednesday
come.
is Christmas.
Yeah, it's gonna come whether you're ready or not. So have a blast, and we will see you. I guess probably I'm not gonna do a team call before the new year. Sunny, you doing anything?
Nope.
Okay.
See you next year.
See you next year.
year.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.